Hey, how's it going, you guys? Welcome to One's Lonesome, Two's Company. This is another game by Team Anpim, who makes some of my favorite Yuri visual novels. Very excited to play this. I've been slowly working my way back through their entire catalog of games, and we finally arrived to this one. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Oh, and she's immediately getting beaten up. What a way to start a game. A little bit different than some of their other ones, I'll say that. How many times do we have to beat you up for you to understand? Another hefty punch lands on my face. The fatigue of my damaged body makes me lose balance and my legs give out. She then stomps her foot onto my arm and looks down upon me. Aren't we your friends, huh? We let you borrow 50,000 yen for whatever you needed that much money for, and you still haven't paid us back? What kind of friend are you? The other girls start cackling along with her, sounding like hoarse crows. It hurts my ears. Friends don't hold on to debts. I whisper under my breath, but the alleyway is just quiet enough that sassy comment was heard. The foot on my arm releases and kicks my face. Hard. I have no energy left to even cry out in pain. You're a dang idiot. If it were just a few hundred yen, sure, but this is 50,000 yen we're talking about. We pulled it out of our butts just because you said you needed help. What did you even use that money for on anyways? Probably drugs. Dang, we're dealing with a druggie? Even I wouldn't stoop that low. My ears are ringing and my head is spinning. The metallic taste in my mouth that I'm so used to makes me want to vomit. My entire body is numb. I lie there ignoring every word they say and hope they just leave. I hate everything. Remember, we're gonna be on your tail till you give us back that 50,000 yen. Don't treat us like idiots. We're not gonna forget about that money. I suggest you go find some way to get easy money. I can already think of one. They leer at each other and their screeching laughter pierces my ears again. Easy money, huh? With one last kick in my stomach, they finally leave my soon-to-be carcass alone. I lay on the floor of the dirty alleyway where no light shines upon. I think back to what I did with that money that brought me to my fate now. If only I used that money on myself. It was for my parents and their gambling addiction. Oh, interesting. A dumb risk that I took and a dumb trap I fell into, hoping they would win something with that money. Yeah, you can hope all you want, but most people won't. I didn't know what I was thinking, but I didn't think I'd end up in this kind of situation. No one will save me. No one has. I stare at the brick wall in front of me awaiting my death. Oh, if only that happened. My eyelids slowly close as the darkness engulfs me. I soon fall into a slumber, but my eyes shoot open when I hear footsteps running towards me. My heartbeat pounds in my chest from fear. Are they back to bully me again? Excuse me, are you alright? A panicked voice, unlike the previous girls, echoes through the tight walls of the alley. My eyes roll up to see who the unfamiliar voice belongs to, but my eyes are too clouded with tears to clearly see who it could be. What do I do? What do I do? Her voice slowly tunes out as I fall into unconsciousness. Could it be that an angel has finally come to take me to heaven? No, I wouldn't be going to heaven. I probably belong in hell. This is very different from their more recent works. I'll say that because we're already meeting, the main characters, right? The main character is just straight up getting beat up in the first half, and then she's doing something for her parents, which we kind of hear about the parents of the characters sometimes, but it's very rare, and it's not like a situation like that. It's usually like them just looking down upon them, for being a lesbian. So, very different tone so far, I'll say that. Very interesting. I open my eyes after what seems like eons, but the bright light above forces my eyes to squint. Is this a hospital? Once my eyes adjust to the light, I scan around the room to see where I am. I turn my head to the right and see a little desk, as well as a window. I assume it's already nightfall with the window looking dark outside. Just where am I? I decide to get up, but I instantly regret the decision. My entire body aches and everywhere hurts. I scowl in pain as I try to push myself up from the bed and notice that I'm bandaged up. I hiss continually until the door opens and someone comes running towards me. I find it interesting that she's hissing because she's depicted as a cat on the main screen. Wonder if that's what it's supposed to be like. She's supposed to be like a stray cat, What are you doing? A girl puts the tray she was holding onto the bedside table and holds on to me. It feels much better without having to support my own weight. I fall into her hands and lie down once again. Please be careful, you shouldn't be getting up in this state. The soft pillow greets my head and I gladly accept its greeting. I take a better look at the girl and notice her wearing my school's uniform. Judging by the color of her bow, she's a first year. She looks incredibly prim and proper, what with her uniform neatly kept. Her big round teal eyes that sit prettily on her face are filled with worry. Just what happened to you? Before that, I should be asking, who are you, instead? A shocked expression replaces her previous concerned face. Oh, I'm Kotone and Hibiki. I attend Higashitaka High first year. I transferred in. I cut her off before she goes on a tangent I don't care about. Why did you save me? Huh? Why didn't you just leave me there in the alley? You could have just went about your day without having to deal with this trouble of helping me. I couldn't have just left you there. You were basically on your last breath. Yeah, exactly. Should have just left me there. She gave me a scorned look. The guilt would have eaten at me if I didn't. Ah, she's one of those people. Like how she immediately recognizes, like, oh, she's one of these people, yeah. I take a big sigh and let it go. I guess I do owe her for saving my life, even if I didn't really want it. It's not often that I say thanks, but just this once. Thanks. I look at the opposite wall and mutter a quiet gratitude. Even without turning back to her face, I can sense a gleaming smile appearing. Oh yes. I return my head to the previous position after her explanation, which actually hurts a bit. I'm not surprised if I got whiplash. I tried my best to wipe the blood off you and bandage you, though I haven't really done it before, so let me know if anything feels tight or uncomfortable anywhere. I take another, more clearer look at the bandages around my hands. It's not like I can feel anything besides the pain anyways. I can't tell if it feels uncomfortable or not. It's fine. That's good to hear. She reaches for the tray next to me and grabs a bowl on it. I also made you some rice porridge. You probably can't eat that much right now, but it's better to have at least something in your stomach than nothing. Now that she mentions it, just when was the last time I ate? I racked my brains to the events prior to the beating. I don't think I ate since this morning's piece of toast. Just the thought of being able to eat something makes my stomach grumble like thunder. Hibiki hears the ungodly sound and chuckles. Heat soon surges up into my face and I probably look like a tomato right now. Here, let me help you sit up to eat. I'll try to be as gentle as I can. Getting up with her her help feels so much easier than doing it alone. Hibiki props the pillow vertically for my back to rest on and gently lets go. Never have I ever been treated this royally before, and I don't think I want to leave this moment. Whether this is all just a dream or reality, I want to savor the taste of this taste of royalty. I start to lift my aching hands to receive the bowl from her, but instead I'm told to open my mouth. Say, ah. The unexpected words caused me to feel taken aback. I want to be treated like a majesty, not a baby. On second thought, I'll just do things myself. I'll just eat it by myself. You don't need to feed me like that. Lifting my hands up doesn't hurt that much until I begin to lift my arms. I wince in pain and remember the heavy toll my arms took from receiving countless hits and kicks. Hibiki judgingly looks down at my arms and looks back at me in a "are you sure about that" manner. I bite my lip in remorse, knowing she's 100% right. Unfortunately, I'm not invincible. It's okay. I can deal with the pain. No, thank you. I don't want you to spill everything because your arms are literal noodles right now. You'll just end up creating more work for me. She manages to take another jab at me. Just sit there quietly and eat. You're a patient in my care right now. Now say, ah. Ah, more like, ah, I want to bury my face in the pillow. How embarrassing. Nonetheless, I oblige and finally taste the delicious spoonful of heaven. Maybe it's because I didn't have food today that even just the flavor of rice porridge manages to bring all life back into me. My eyes widen at her to signal that this is the best dish I've ever eaten. Who made this? This tastes so good. Hibiki grins in satisfaction. I did it! I'm glad you like it. I didn't have very many ingredients tonight, but I tried my best to make something good. I was afraid you might not like it since it's so simple. I violently shake my head to disagree. You made this? I thought it was your mom or something. It's a simple dish, but I'd eat this every day. Now it's Hibiki's turn to blush as she shies away from my compliment. Haha, yeah, Mom's not here anymore. My dad's always... There was a slight pause that was quick, but hesitant enough to notice. Busy, so he's not home often. I had to learn how to cook unless I wanted to live off my life off of convenience store bento boxes. I don't know, I've heard Japan has some really great bento boxes, so I don't feel like that would be too terrible, but I agree, home cooking is the best. Shoot, I accidentally stepped onto a landmine that I didn't see coming at all by mentioning her already passed mom. Oh. I'm sorry about that, I didn't mean to bring it up. Oh no, it's totally fine. She died giving birth to me, so I have no memories of her or anything. Oh, that's even worse. Oh, what do you mean? You didn't even get to know her. My fingers subconsciously fidget with the blanket, knowing that I made things a bit awkward. It's totally okay. I've had caretakers that Dad hired throughout my younger life. It was like I had multiple moms. You have a very interesting situation, Hibiki, I'll say that. My throat struggles to find some kind of consoling words for her, but I just can't, so I leave the air silent instead. I'd rather not make the atmosphere even more awkward. Come on, hurry and eat it before it gets cold. I proceed to eat the rest. My stomach has probably never thanked me enough for putting real food into it. She puts the bowl back into the tray and carries it out the door. The dark sky outside the window catches my attention again. I speak up before she disappears from the room. I haven't realized how long I was out for, and I have no idea what time it is. Hey, what time is it? Oh, it's probably around 9 by now. Jesus, I was out for a good 5 hours? Yeah, pretty much. You were snoring pretty loudly too. No doubt you were tired. What the hell? What? How does a complete stranger I just met for the first time get to see all my vulnerable and embarrassing sides in just one day? I swear I blushed more today than I have in my entire lifetime. I hate it. I'm gonna go home. Thanks again for the hospitality. She runs back to me and holds me down. Where do you think you're going in this condition? You obviously can barely move. I feel great. Yeah, I feel great, you know, just every bone in my body is broken. I'm feeling fine. I push her aside with my regained strength, though it still isn't much. I need to get going. My legs don't hurt as much as I thought it would to walk. Or maybe I'm just used to the pain and recovery. Why don't you stay here the night? I don't even know you. Why would I stay in a stranger's house? I mean, to be fair, that's a good point. It's like, why would you bring her to your house instead of like a hospital or something, you know? A little strange, but I'll allow it. But how are you gonna get home in this state? I will. Don't worry about it. I think it's better if you stay, even if it's just for tonight, for good measure. Show me the exit. Hibiki stands still looking at me with disdain, and then looks down at the floor looking rejected. Alright. She leads me out of what I presume is the guest room and through the big and chic looking house of hers. Gosh, what is up with all these girls having the nicest houses in this game? Like, what kind of house do you guys live in at Team Ampim? Are you just living the life? You just make these for fun? You don't even need to work because you have these nice, beautiful homes? Is that what you're trying to say? I can't help but take a peek around the space. It's quite a modern-looking place with high ceilings and sleek-looking furniture. Yeah, it's pretty nice, but... Okay, the thing I have a problem with all these really nice and fancy homes is they have, like, this nice, huge living room with, like, these cool-looking lights, right? But then look at the TV on the side. It's, like, this tiny, like, 55-inch TV that's, like, dwarfed by the space around it. I don't know, maybe I just care too much about a TV because, you know, when I'm sitting down to watch a movie, I want it to be nice. I want it to be big so I can see all the detail, right? So just, I don't know, it irks me whenever I see a small TV in such a big space. I'm like, go big, you know? Like, make this into a theater room, like somewhere you're actually gonna want to sit down and watch something. All right, that's my rant for today. I'm done. All right, and I think I read that already. The lack of clutter creates a minimalist visual, like something out of a brochure for a new house. The house isn't lavishly furnished, which further emphasizes the thought that she's home alone most of the time. Doesn't look too shabby though, so she's probably well off in terms of finance. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, look at this place, especially if this is supposed to be in Japan. Like, this would cost you so much yen. It'd be ridiculous. However, the size of it makes me wonder if she really lives here by herself. The entrance opens and I meet the chilly air of late autumn. Why do school uniforms require skirts? I don't know. feel like that's probably mostly a Japan thing. I feel like here in America, we're pretty chill about you just wearing pants. But I guess it would depend on the school, right? If you go straight down the path and turn right, you'll see a big maneki, Neko. Take a left, walk a bit, and you'll see the station if you need it. With a soft nod, I take off and start my trek back to my own place. I shove my hands deeper into my pockets of my cardigan and even pull out my skirt a bit lower to defend myself from the breeze. At least the train is warm inside. I want to fall asleep on the train and let it take me elsewhere, but after that 5-hour nap, I'm wide awake. Even the dull lights in the train hurt my eyes after the dark walk in the streets. I close my eyes in an attempt to fall asleep and block the light, but the name of my stop is called before I can nod off. The cold air clings to me once again through my journey back to my own house. My apartment is only a 10-minute walk from the station, but it feels like eons with a busted body. Yeah, that's like the worst when you're like hurt like that and you're just aching and you're like trying to move. It just feels like your body's so much heavier. I feel like that every time I get really sick, you know? Going up the stairs adds another 3 decades to my trip. Each muscle aches as I take each step. Once I reach the final step, I quickly ruffle through my bag for my keys, all the while briskly walking towards the correct door. All I want is the hot water at the showers. The door swings inward slowly, and I step into the unlit building that feels no different than what the outside feels like. Uh-oh, did you forget to pay the bill or turn the heat on? Tadaima. Only silence greets me. I kick my shoes off and turn the lights on in the place. I stare at the empty living room, a scene I'm a bit too accustomed to. Maybe I should have taken on that chick's offer. Then I trudge slowly to my room to get ready for a shower, but after lying down on my bed for a minute's rest, I end up falling into a deep sleep instead. Probably a good idea. Get some rest and then you can take a shower. I wake to the song of birds accompanied by the warmth of sunshine blanketing my room. I mean, her room looks pretty nice too. I mean, obviously it's not as big, but it looks like a good size. The realization just hit that I passed out last night unexpectedly. I groaned at myself for doing so, especially in such an awkward position. I slowly get up, rubbing the sleep from my eyes. I look around for my bag and find it sprawled on the floor. As I reach for it, my body aches once more, still reeling in pain after my recent encounter. I rummage through my bag to find my phone, and I check the time. 10:50 a.m. Oh, seems I've slept in. Whatever. I start stripping out my dirty clothes and start removing the bandage wraps that the girl gave me. I toss the bloodied bandages into the garbage bin on my way out and head for the showers. There's no point in going back to school during lunchtime since I'll just sit there and sleep for the remaining time anyways. Ah, crap. That means that math test is today before lunch, isn't it? Piss me off, could have been able to stay home till after lunch. I'll shower and bathe until maybe when 4th period starts to do that math test. Guess I'll just have to sleep through lunch. I put the hot water on full blast and I relax instantly when the scorching shower pelts my skin. I begin to scrub my entire body from yesterday's filth. I couldn't care less which muscles ached and which bruises hurt. My tangled hair challenges me to a duel and it's nothing hair conditioner can't save. As I finish rinsing the conditioner out, thoughts of yesterday flash into my mind. Any day could be another day where I get beat to a pulp again, and who knows what they're capable of doing next time instead of just throwing punches and kicks. Getting hurt doesn't faze me, but knowing them, I can foresee something even more sinister. After all, I did treat them like airheads trying to get away with not paying the money back and all. Despite the hot water, the dark thoughts cause me to shiver. I shake my head to get my mind back together and shut the shower head off. The burning water might have pelted my brain a bit, but I don't usually think too deep about things. I step out of the tub while wringing the water out of my hair, which becomes another struggle. Yeah, gosh, I can only imagine having super long hair. Like, my wife has really long hair, and then I have really short hair. And it's like, oh, that would be just the worst trying to deal with that all the time. And especially because it clogs the drain. It's like, oh. I'm not complaining, I'm just saying it would suck to have long hair. The water droplets on my figure form a trail from the shower to my abode across the corridor. The once dry bath towel easily gets drenched as I wipe my body. With the towel hanging on my head, I go to my closet and grab my spare uniform for the day. Now that I think about it, the girl from yesterday probably didn't recognize me as a student from her school because the cardigan I wear isn't distributed by the school. What was her name again? Neko? No, I doubt her name is Kat, okay? Disregarding the thought of trying to remember her name, I swiftly dressed myself and attempt to dry my hair. Obviously, drying my lion's mane didn't go too well. With my hair still half wet, I bust out of the house and leave for school, determined to take that math test. I have no future, but I at least want to maintain my grades somewhat. That's good. I mean, she seems like she's kind of a little bit more of the delinquent type, so that's nice that she's still at least trying to keep her grades good. Alright, there's the lunch bell. Time's up. Hand in your test, please. Students groan and wail in protest, demanding more time, all the while knowing that they can't have any more. I, on the other hand, instantly drop my head onto my desk and close my eyes. I want to say I did okay in the test, but there were definitely some that caught me off guard. Gosh, that's every test I take. There's always a few questions you're like, what in the world is this trying to ask me? As expected of a hard-knock teacher. Heard she was in cahoots with another teacher here. Now that lunch started, the students soon dispersed to their cliques and groups. Gosh, that's true. There's always freaking cliques at every kind of school you go to. I don't care what, age you are. The lull of their conversations in the classroom slowly drifts me off to sleep. It's better that I sleep anyways. The sound of the others eating aggravates my stomach. Another option would be to nap somewhere quiet, but it's safer here. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't want to beat up someone in front of a crowd. One more second, that would have sent me to dreamland, but a high-pitched voice all too familiar resonates through the classroom from the hall. Ah, it's you. I groggily raise my head and look in the direction of said voice. There she is, speed walking into the classroom to me with a humongous gleam on her face and a bento in her hands. I still haven't recalled her name. I didn't know you were from this school. This school doesn't have this cardigan. Yeah, why does she wear the cardigan? If there's a school uniform, don't you have to wear that? How does she get away with that? I have no choice but to talk to her. Yeah, it's my own. The school doesn't really care anyways. What a small world, huh? To think I'd run into you again. That's pretty incredible. Yeah, who would have thought? I give short responses in hopes of giving her a hint that I didn't really want her company right now, but I don't think she gets it. All eyes are on her, but eyes aren't the only thing that she's attracted. Behind her shining face, I can hear multiple murmurs passing around. Isn't that Kotone and Hibiki, the Yakuza daughter that transferred recently? She's the daughter of a Yakuza? Oh, that's interesting. I'm sure that will play into the story a little bit. I like that, though. That's interesting. Explains why she's got so much money in Japan, of all places. Ah, Kotone Hibiki, that was her name. I think so. What is she doing here? Don't look this way, don't look this way. I heard her Yakuza dad will ruin your family if she even says one word about being picked on. Yeesh, don't want to go near that. Didn't you hear that she might be in some shady business as well? I make eye contact with her again and notice she's looking around nervously, potentially due to all the whispering. She looks so helpless right now. We're getting out of here. Ah. I grab her wrist and drag her out of the hellhole. Even I felt annoyed hearing those comments. I take her to the only place I know where we can talk quietly. Wait, where are we going? The rooftop. Yeah, of course. Where else would you go in a school? Where all the fun stuff happens. The rooftop? That's off limits, isn't it? Not for me. My hands feel clammy. I might have gotten myself into something I shouldn't have. Assuming those rumors in the classroom are true. We reach the top of the dark staircase that leads to the door of the rooftop. Only the light coming through the windows, or the door's window, illuminates the area. I look back at her to see her worried expression. I give her a reassuring smirk and open the door, exposing us to the crisp autumn air. The sun helps warm us up from the slight breeze, and God, am I thankful for that. I close the door behind us gently and guide her to the center of the roof stage. Now we can talk without any interruptions, and you can eat your lunch in peace. She marvels at the scenery in front of us and praises me for knowing such a place. I can't believe you. I smugly shrug, aware that I'm great for granting her access to this unknown area. That's an interesting looking smile. Unfortunately, there aren't any chairs or comfortable seating, but I sit down in the middle of the vast roof and look out into the distance. Hibiki sits by me while her eyes are still glued to the breathtaking sight beyond this fence. Are you sure we're supposed to be here? Nope, but no one checks, and I've never gotten caught yet, so it's all good. Yet. Just eat your lunch, will you? She gives me one more skeptical look and opens her bento to reveal a scrumptious lunch. The lunch consists of rice with a side of egg rolls, octopus wieners, and broccoli for veggies. Dang, it's the typical Japanese lunch, huh? Well, probably the typical for somebody in like an anime or something. Memory surged back to me as I remember she's actually a good cook. Knowing my stomach's going to grumble again, I divert my gaze away and think about something else. The muffled conversations and various sounds below us are all I focus on, along with the birds that fly by us. I'm about to lie down to bask in the warm sunlight, but suddenly I am interrupted by Hibiki. Would you like to have some? Huh? Some of my lunch. I assume you haven't had lunch yet. Looking over again at the tasty bento box tempts me to accept that offer, but at the same time I don't want to impose on her. I don't want to eat. I'm good. You can't just not eat anything. I remember yesterday your stomach was grumbling because you probably haven't eaten for the entire day. You have to eat properly, you know. She picks up one of the octopus wiener with her chopsticks and points it at my mouth. I freeze in place as I debate within my inner self. Do I fall into the hands of gluttony or resist? Hibiki lowers the chopsticks with a glum look on her face. Could it be you're afraid of me? My eyebrows furrow in confusion. What is she going on about this time? I'm sure you heard those people in the classroom. Ah, that. There are rumors spreading around about random things. Some really aren't true, but it is true that my dad is a Yakuza member. Again, I'm at a loss for words. It's definitely intimidating that her dad's a Yakuza member. Who knows what they're capable of doing if I do one thing wrong to Hibiki. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't afraid of that. Hibiki seems like the type to get along with anybody. Hell, she saved me when she could have just walked past and pretended like she didn't see anything. That already says a lot about her caring personality. To keep my cool facade, I lean back with my arms to stare at the sky. I don't like rumors and gossip. Whether they're true or not, I don't really care. You saved me. That's enough for me to be on for you to be on my good side. But they are true. My dad's actually a Yakuza member. She looks down on her lunch. That's why no one's ever come close to me. No one dares to befriend me because they fear me. A wave of silence washes over us, leaving us with only the sounds of various city noises. Well, it is true that your dad will bring hell on earth if any friend is going to do you wrong. No, that is not true for sure. I can deal with my own problems. I don't need my dad to beat up any boys or whoever. I'm not a kid anymore. Wait, so you're saying it's happened before when you were a kid? That question is honestly meant to be a joke and a serious question. No. Well, maybe. Yeah, I was gonna say, you weren't convincing me. That was only because I was young. My dad knows I can handle things by myself now. Then it's fine. They aren't worth being a friend if they're scared of that. Well, it's a given that they would be, but if they're your friend, they won't really be hurting you much, right? They're being friends because they like you as a person. Friends that won't hurt you much. Huh. Sounds familiar, though I never really treated them as friends. Just a group I hung out with and to avoid looking like a loner. Is that what they call karma? If they won't be your friend, I'll be your friend. To be honest, I said that just out of the blue because she seemed so down, but I don't think that having a new friend would hurt, especially not this little lost kitten. After hearing this statement, her eyes widened to a size I didn't know those round eyes could go. Tears were soon forming and I feel like I made a hasty decision. You don't have to cry over that. Sorry. Her sleeves become tissues as she wipes the tears in her eyes. It's like you've never had a friend in your life. She digs into her now probably cold lunch. I've had friends, just not long-lasting ones. Certainly don't have any now. Well, you have me now. Right, but why do I have the feeling you're only playing around with me? Hey, I don't go joking around when it comes to making friends. I don't make friends that easily, so be grateful about me being yours. What you're saying is, you yourself suck at making friends. I shoot her a death glare, but I admit that's 100% true. Hibiki chuckles a surprisingly cute chuckle. Her laugh catches me off guard completely and brings me to notice her appearance. Now that I look at her closely, she's actually really pretty. Looks like one of those girls that all the boys try to go for, or those popular and well-liked girls. Maybe she'd be it if it weren't for those nasty rumors. Speaking of which, since we're now friends, it's best if I clear up all rumors, right? So about that rumor about you being in some shady business. He shuts me down the second I finish my sentence. False. I'm a perfectly normal girl. My dad tries his best to make that happen. He tries to keep his Yakuza identity a secret when he's around me to protect me from a bad life. These rumors just somehow happen to spread. I think it's been enough about all this. I decided to drop it and stop caring about all of those seemingly false allegations. Alright. As long as you don't send Yakuza members to come murder me, it's all good. I get my last words cut off when an egg roll inserts in my mouth mid-sentence. Oop! That's not gonna happen. With a stern, annoyed look, she resumes her meal. The egg roll's soft folds are cooked to perfection, not too overly done, yet not too soggy. It manages to shut me up for a good minute while I chew my first meal of the day. Food seems to keep you quiet. I just haven't eaten anything today, and I'm trying to savor the taste. Her signature concern look is showing again. Do you really not eat anything? You're not getting your nutrition. I don't answer her question. She most likely knows the answer anyways. I just don't have the time nor skill to make good food like she does. I can do whatever I want. A sigh escapes her mouth, and thankfully, she gives up questioning my life choices. Here, have the rest of my lunch. As much as I'd like to, I'd feel like a hobo for doing so. Yeah, I guess so. No, just finish it. You didn't have lunch. I had that egg roll. That's nothing. It's something to me. I shrug and stand up, getting ready to flee because I don't want to keep up with this farce. Also a good idea to get food away from my eyes. Well, it was nice talking to you. See ya. I leave the confused and stunned girl on the floor to our Lonesome. Wait, feels so pitiful for her to feed me like that. And I don't quite like that, even if her food is exceptional. I look back at her with a smug smirk, before I open the door to voice my victory, which she returns with a defeated, unamused face. Somehow, and for some reason, I escape her once more. The rest of my day goes back to my regularly scheduled programming. Just the good old boring classes and my stealthy retreat from me getting beat up. But with Miss Yakuza daughter as my new friend, my daily life has been spiced up a bit. It would be interesting being friends with someone like that. I'm sure they would have a lot of interesting stories to tell you. The next day, the lunch bell rings. I lie my head down in my arms and stare at the doorway waiting for my cat to come home. Hibiki is bound to come find me again, and I'm willing to wait. I find it somewhat amusing how childlike she can be. However, a good 10 minutes have passed and still no sight of her. Boring. Getting tired of waiting for her, I leave the classroom and visit my favorite place in the school. Might as well nap a bit until lunch ends. How much do you want to bet she's going to bring 2 bento boxes this time? The heavy door opens with a slight creak and the outside air welcomes me. I peek my head out the door and notice that I have found where my kitten has wandered off to. Hibiki sits alone in the sea of washed blue tiles, staring out to the skies. It seems she doesn't notice me when I walk up behind her. It looks like she's in her own little world, daydreaming about who knows what. I didn't think you'd have the guts to come up here alone. Huh? A high squeal comes out of her mouth, accompanied with a completely blood-drained face. In a flash, I crouch down to her level and cover her mouth with my hand so we don't attract attention from beneath. Shh. Her face immediately relaxes when she recognizes it's me, so I retract my hand. Senpai, you're here. I was waiting for you. Oh gosh, we're using the honorifics now, huh? Oh, I was waiting for you to come by class. Oh, I wouldn't want to do that again. She has a point. Why would she attract so much attention when she doesn't even want it? Bad judgment on my part. Never mind. I take a seat next to her and notice she has 2 lunch boxes on her lap. Wow, didn't see that coming at all. A pink one on top of the red one that she brought me yesterday. My curiosity gets the better of me and I ended up eyeing it longer than I should have. Hibiki catches me staring and smiles. The pink one's for you. You know, I don't think pink's her color, considering she has like this yellow, orange, and red color scheme going on. My eyebrows arc in confusion and wonder if she is for real. I made a lunch for you because I knew you wouldn't have one. You really need to start eating properly, you know? It'll cause problems for you in the long run if you refuse to eat. The pink bento box gets handed to me and I'm sitting there, still speechless. My hands robotically go to accept it, but I come to my senses and stop them just in time. You didn't need to do that for me. Of course I did. From what I've seen the past few days, you seem to be avoiding food. Is it possible that there's a problem? My shoulders relax and I slouch, looking down at the bento in her hands. No, I don't have any eating disorders. I don't have any eating disorders, anything. It's just... My eyes meet hers, and for some reason my ability to lie just dissolves and tempts me to spill even my deepest, darkest secret. To battle that, I simply look away to the clouds. I won't spill any dark secrets yet, but I think she deserves to know at least something. I just don't like when I have to rely on others. It makes me feel like I'm vulnerable. You never know when your guard is down and things come crashing down on you, and you're already too defenseless to do anything. This might be a very bad move because I just met her for a couple of days, but the words just flow out of my mouth without stopping. I never shared my deeper thoughts with anyone, and doing so right now just makes it sound like a hypocrite to what I had told her. Me becoming defenseless and vulnerable. But my inner self doesn't seem to mind her. My walls crumble on their own. My fingers fidget with themselves, feeling nervous and awkward talking about such an uncomfortable topic. Hibiki doesn't reply and leaves a gap of silence. Maybe she's at a loss for words after hearing a softer side of me. But you don't have to worry. The sudden shout startles me and causes me to jolt a bit and put all my attention on her. I'll never hurt you in any way. Like you said, friends would never hurt you if they really like you and want to be friends with you, for you. How about this? Think of it as a token of gratitude for yesterday. I thank you for not being afraid of me and actually being a friend. Also, I'm not asking for something in return or anything. I'm doing it genuinely for you because you're going to suffer from malnutrition soon if you don't start eating proper meals. The pink box is shoved towards me again, and with a shining determination this time. How naive can this girl get? I stifle a small laugh and admire her strong persistence. Alright, just this once. Got that? Who said just this once? I give her another confused look as I open the lid. The strong smell wafts to my nose and makes my mouth water. I'm gonna make you a lunch every day. No one aside from my parents has ever done that for me before. Heck, my parents don't even do that for me anymore. You really don't have to. That's just so much work. I'm just a friend you made recently. I notice my face blushing, hearing the news that someone is doing something just for me without asking for it. It's been so long since I've had that happen. I might as well. I like cooking anyways. If you don't like the idea of me helping you then, you can think of it as me helping me developing my cooking skills. That's not too bad, is it? She sure knows how to turn things around. Well, if you put it that way. I'm grateful I get a lunch every day now, but would I become too spoiled from this? I drop the issue and let her have her way. I don't know how she does it, but she has this bewitching aura that makes you go along with her plans. Without another thought, I dig into my homemade lunch. Today's menu is rice with a side of fried karage and a salad. Its appearance is absolutely stunning, like it's from a TV show. It's not as warm as it should be, but any real food right now is a bliss to my belly. Both of us eat in silence until she starts a new conversation. Her eyes look in the direction of my hand and she notices my injuries are healing. Glad your bruises and cuts are healing. Have you been treating them properly? Not really doing anything special to them. These things heal on their own, don't they? Yeah, but you shouldn't be getting into more fights or whatever while you're still healing. A fight, huh? It'd be a really one-sided fight if you consider what happened to fight. Her words were only a mere whisper, but since it was just the two of us, every word was heard and Hibiki sends a worried look. Wait, you mean they were beating you up? The cherry tomato from her chopsticks falls back into her bento after she hears the shocking news. Yeah, I guess. It's nothing, really. That's not nothing. Why are they doing that to you? Why did I know she would react that way? Nah, I kinda deserve it. I almost laugh at how appalled her face looks right now, but I just stuff another piece of chicken into my mouth. You've gotta be kidding me. I chomp on another piece of chicken. No, I'm not. Simply put, I owe them 50,000 yen. Even you would chase down someone that owes you that much money, no? 50,000 yen? That shut her up nicely. What did you do with that much money? There's no point in hiding anything anymore. Might as well tell her. My parents are gambling addicts. They were asking me to get 50,000 one day because they were short on money after spending their paychecks. I put faith in them thinking they could at least get something out of that 50,000. Yeah, that's where you went wrong. And well, I made a bad choice. I should have thought better. I didn't know how gambling works. Heck, I don't even know what they were gambling. I know that's not a small amount, but I was kind of hoping they'd forget about it. I knew there was no way I was able to pay that money back. I played around with the last grain of rice stuck to the side of the box and continued telling my story while she listened intently. There was no one else I could feel comfortably relay all the happenings I've been through recently, so this is a good therapy session, I guess. Once my friends found out that their 50,000 isn't going to be repaid anytime soon, they started giving me the ultimatum and started attacking me. It wasn't as bad as it is now, but they've got more guts now that they've been doing it for a while. A while? How long is a while for? You can't just keep taking the hits. Malnutrition isn't going to be the only thing you're going to have to worry about. It's been 3 weeks? 3 weeks? That's still quite some time. Why don't you get a part-time job, even if it's just trying to pay off that 50,000 yen? Of course, I've thought about that. I'm not stupid. The only issue is that none of the places have gotten back to me yet. Job hunting isn't as easy as handing in homework. Yeah, I've tried. I just haven't heard any news about me being hired yet, so I'm here waiting and looking. Hibiki becomes solemn when she hears that her attempt at helping has been shut down. It's fine. I'll find a way somehow. Don't worry about it. Senpai, I can't do much, but I'll always be here for you, okay? I have to admit, those words are quite touching and I really appreciate her efforts. However, this is my own battle. Thanks, I really appreciate it, just so you know. But stop being so sappy. I hate it. Eh? Hey, I'm really trying my best to comfort you here, and yet here you are calling it sappy. A snicker escapes that I try to stop, but I can't and it turns into a chuckle. Okay, I'll stop. Any more words could have not been spoken as the bell rings indicating the end of lunch. Spending all that time on the floor slouched has made my entire body stiff, so I get up and stretch after that long talk. It's also been a while since I've talked to someone for that long, even if it was actually only 30 minutes. I make yet another quick retreat like I did yesterday. I'm the type of person that likes to come and go as they please without prolonged farewells. Good talk. See you tomorrow. The bright sky is dim again and the door closes, draining the energy I just had out there with Hibiki. I slowly trudge back to class for the next period and actually look forward to going back to the roof tomorrow. 2 weeks later. Surprisingly, it's been smooth sailing since then. Hibiki and I constantly hang out at the rooftop, talking about random stuff or even nothing sometimes. The silence between us is a comfortable one, where we just enjoy each other's presence. Though I think she enjoys it more than I do, because I sometimes miss being alone on the rooftop. A good 2 weeks have passed since my last beating, and I haven't seen my friends since then. I've encountered them once, but I managed to hightail it out of there before they got to me. Luck was on my side that day. I'm hoping they just got tired of beating me up and are leaving me alone. It's not like I'm going to return the 50,000 anymore. I just can't yet. Soon, I'll get out of this misery, even if the walk home nowadays has become gloom, like my future. The sunny skies are of no warrant now that the autumn is coming to an end. Gray clouds blanket the town, and leaves are all falling off, leaving a gloomy atmosphere behind. The small street I walk on is quiet and still, with only the sound of my footsteps crunching on leaves following me. I look down at the leaves and step on as many leaves as I can. The crunch from the dead leaves gives me a satisfying feeling. It's like stepping in fresh snow, kind of. The leaves distract me for a second too long, and suddenly I'm being pushed into a nearby alleyway. Again. What the hell? My tailbone tingles a bit after landing right on it, but when I look up the culprit who pushed me down, the feeling of fear takes over my entire body. Long time no see. I hide my fear as best as I can, even though in the corner of my eye I can see my hands quivering. Right when I think it's just her, more footsteps come up behind me and it seems her entire posse is here for the party as well. This time with an aluminum baseball bat. Ah, crap. Without any wanting to waste any more time, I try to book it the hell out of there, but one grabs me and stops me in my tracks. The alleyway is too narrow for her to dart around her, making my wrists easy targets for her hands to grasp upon. I struggle as hard as I can, but she stalls long enough for her reinforcement to hold on to me as well. We're waiting for that money, friend. Their strong grips on my wrists induce a whimper out of me and I fail to wriggle out of their control. I'll give it to you soon, just give me some more time, I swear. You've been saying that for the longest time. I think we've given you enough time. Indeed, and to make it harder for you to run next time, we're going to give you some special treatment. I swallow a gulp and wait my fate. I continue thrashing about, but I'm still trapped in the shackles of their hands. As the last resort, I shout and grunt in hopes of someone hearing while passing by. No way do I want my leg to be crippled today. The girl in front of me takes one more step and brings the bat high, ready to strike my poor legs. At this moment, my entire body freezes in fear, and I just start to mentally prepare myself for the pain to come. But it doesn't. Get your dirty hands off of her! Instead, the bat stops in midair after a loud yell rings through the back alleyway. The groupies turn around to check who it is, but I know right away just who owns that voice. What the hell is she doing here? She's in an absurd amount of danger right now if she doesn't leave now. I said get on. I said get them off. Hibiki's hands lashed onto the bullies and fling their low, loose grip off. She heroically steps in front of me to guard me despite her frame being smaller than mine, and despite her probably having less fighting experience than me. Gosh, I would love to see her just like beat them up. She just uses like some kind of a Yakuza fighting techniques and just like takes them on all herself. That'd be freaking awesome. 50,000, right? What are you doing? You're gonna get hurt. She ignores my qualm and ruffles through her bag to pull out 10 crisp 5,000 yen bills. Everyone in the vicinity opens their eyes wide and drops their mouth as if they have a 50-pound dumbbell in there. She must have gone insane. I start to grab at her hand to stop her from her crazy actions, but she throws the bill towards the big boss. We all witness each bill sail down onto the ground where they should not belong. Who wouldn't go run after raining money? Eager to grab the cash, the lackeys swoop down to the floor like vultures. The small leader, still in shock, looks at me and gives me a defeated laugh. Fine, we thought you'd go sell your body, but I guess that way works too. She takes a good look at Hibiki and obviously knows not to screw around with her, especially with those rumors spreading around school. You win. Now don't you ever touch her again. I'm standing there, still startled at the events that just transpired. Hibiki grabs my hand and pulls me out of the alleyway away from the scene. My dumbfounded mind just rolls with it and lets her drag me. My brain is still processing what just happened. We stop after we escape far enough and end up outside a closed and rundown store. Are you okay? You're not hurt anywhere, right? I can't tell if I'm angry, relieved, happy, or something else. Why'd you do that? My volume comes out louder than I wanted to and scares her a bit. I kind of just did it out of the blue. It was the only thing I could have done to save you. You could have been hurt. That was such a senseless thing to do. Excuse me. Sorry. Tears just start welling up in her eyes, and I didn't really need to put her in a frightened place. Yeah, I mean, she just did kind of save you, and hopefully she'll save you from future attacks too, now that they know you guys are like friends. I feel like a jerk for making her cry, especially when she literally just saved my butt again. She saved my future. I pat her shoulder and reassure her that I didn't plan on yelling at her. Sorry, I'm just still in a panic state. I give her a moment of silence to calm down. Once her sniffling settles, I start interrogating again. I'm out of debt from those pieces of crap, but even with it paid off, I'm still in debt of Hibiki. She feeds me and paid for the money I owed. What did I do to deserve all this? Where'd you get all that money from anyways? That was my allowance for this month. Your allowance? 50,000 yen? Yes, I bumped into my dad this morning at the door as I was rushing to school. He handed me the money, but I had no time to put it back in my room, so I stuffed it in my bag and left. I didn't plan on finding you in that situation again, nor did I plan on spending all of it on the go like that. Your lunches won't be as extravagant for this month. That's the last thing I'm worried about. I'm worried about you. Who knew what they could have done to you? Imagine if you hadn't had that 50,000 on you. You would have been dead meat with me. They know who I am. They wouldn't dare touch me. I like how she says that with that smirk on her face. She's like, yeah, I know they wouldn't touch me. You, on the other hand, you would have been screwed. It's true that I'll handle my own problems, but it won't go to my dad. But it's not my fault that they will believe those silly rumors, right? Makes a solid point. People are only afraid of her because they don't know her real story, and that she won't actually get the Yakuza to murder them. It's all thanks to the rumors that those wenches were afraid of getting involved with her. It seems that that hearsay was an advantage this time. Man, I owe you my life. Literally. My hand starts shaking a little from shock. Everything happens so fast, I still can't wrap my head around it. I will literally do whatever you tell me to, no joke. Her usual perky self returns and she beams a smile at me. Don't say that. I didn't save you to make you my slave. I saved you because that's what friends are for. That's a lot for a friend you just met earlier this month. Like you say, don't worry about it. Sent her a disapproving look for using my own line against me, but I smiled because I never thought she'd pull something like that. Oh, you smiled. Senpai smiled. Oh, shut up. I wrapped my arm around her neck and put her in a playful headlock. Let's get you home. Senpai, my neck, it's sensitive there. I promise I'll pay back that 50,000. You really don't have to. I tightened my headlock. I will. Okay, but how about in some other way instead? What? What other way could I possibly pay back that 50,000 without hard cash? I'm falling behind in my studies and I have no idea what's going on in class, especially math class. I failed my test and am due for a makeup test on Thursday, but I'll just fail that again because I don't get it. She puts on a pouty face from the pain on her neck, and the fact that she's failing math. Since I don't really need the money right away, Senpai, can't you just focus on helping me pass math for now? How about that? It's a good deal, not gonna lie. Math is my forte and I might as well put it to use. I give it a long thought on the walk back to the station and eventually accept it. Alright, I'll help you with your math, but I'm still gonna give you your 50,000 back. Soon. Great, Senpai, you're the best. You really don't care about that 50,000, do you? Nope. If it was needed to save Senpai's life, I would gladly give it away, which I did. The station is in sight now. We walk up the stairs to the correct platform for her train. Now that I think about it, you keep calling me Senpai. Senpai this, Senpai that, even when we're eating on the rooftop. Do you not know my name? Oh, you never told me your name. I didn't have to ask since I could just call you Senpai. There's no way I've never introduced my name to her. Isn't that the first thing people usually do when they meet people? Oh right, I cut her introduction off because I didn't care at that time and asked her why she saved me that first day we met. For this entire time of 2 weeks, she didn't know my name? But, well then, my name's Kaneko Kotone. Kotone senpai, huh? You got a problem with that? The train comes to a slow halt as it arrives and opens its doors. It's a surprisingly refined name compared to what you lead on. Wait to push my buttons. You wanna die? A high-spirited laugh departs from her mouth as she skips into the train to avoid her death. See you tomorrow, Kotone-senpai. I send her off with a small wave and make my way back down to the sidewalk and back home. I'm free from getting slaughtered by the gang now, but why do I feel like I have another handful coming my way? The next day I roam the hallway freely during lunch and breaks, knowing that I won't be beaten up after school anymore. I mean, that would be a pretty relieving feeling, wouldn't you think? The group of girls pass by me, but all they can do now is just give me death glares. I paid their money back and they have no reason to touch me. The final bell rings for the end of our school day, and I stuff my bag full of my homework and head downstairs to Hibiki's class. Class 1-3, huh? It should have been around here somewhere. Now all eyes are on me this time, with all the first-year students wondering what a third-year student is doing on their territory. I pay no attention to the students, and I'd be lying if I said their stares didn't bother me. Come on, Hibiki, where are you? Kotone-senpai! I turn around to find a huffing and puffing Hibiki scuttling towards me. Sorry, I had to go help the PE teacher clean up. Should we get going? Without even greeting her, I walk past her and hurry her to leave because I'm beginning to get nervous around the multitude of gawking from the first years. Let's go. Now, show me the way. Okay, coming. She catches up to my speed and walks alongside me. Today's the day where I start helping her with my math difficulties. I'm not sure how well I'll fare with her other subjects, but I know for sure I'm able to help her ace her makeup test. Dang, maybe she can help me. I suck at math. Like freaking too many numbers, too many things to think about. I don't like it. Aside from the small chatter that Hibiki started at the beginning of our walk to her house, the entire trip is completely silent. I'm not a person of many words either, so all my responses were either one word or an agreeing grunt. She probably has the idea that I'm not interested, which I'm partially not, but I just don't talk much in general. The road we walked brings back memories to the day I first met Hibiki, the day I could have died in that alley, I'm sure if she hadn't brought me back to her house. I recognize the big Maneko Neko outside the ramen shop as well. We reach her nice-looking house again, and she gestures me in while she unlocks the door, and hands me a pair of indoor house slippers. Hold on. Just make yourself at home in the living room over here first. I'm going to tidy my room for you. After dropping me off in the living room, she darts up the stairs faster than I've ever seen her. What's she gotta hide to run that fast? Doing so makes her all the more suspicious, but I'm not gonna pry. I sit on the black couch in the living room and fully take in the details of the place. The last time I was here, I only scanned the house because I'm in a hurry to leave, even though I'm taking a closer look, there's nothing much that's new for me to take in. I noticed it last time too, but the entire house looks quite barren and cold. Kind of resembles my apartment, but higher end. Just kind of, but not really. There's something that sets apart hers and mine. The thump of her footprints down the stairs snaps me out of my deep thoughts, and she invites me to her room. Sorry for the wait. My room's this way. I follow her obediently to her chambers and see that it's 10 times different than the guest room I was in. Her room is upstairs, and once you step in it, it's like stepping into another realm that's warmer than the cold aura the house gives. Her personal belongings and little cute touches to her room makes it feel more intimate and humane. On her desk lives tons of shoujo manga lined up on the upper shelf. On another shelf under it is home to hordes of little toys from gachapon machines. Stuffed animals of various franchises sit snugly next to her pillow on her bed. Just like she says, she's just a normal girl. Hibiki gestures to sit on the middle of the floor where there's a pink rug and a small wooden floor table. She sits beside me and slams her textbook in front of me. Please help me. Her eyes fire up and become full of determination. I wouldn't be surprised if she gives up halfway. My hands grab a hold of her textbook and slide it my way, flipping to the page where her cute bunny bookmark marks where she left off. What are you learning right now anyways? With a simple scan of all the questions in the book, it looks like they're learning the start of algebraic equations. Can't be that hard for you, right? She looks me dead in the eye and replies, "It's really hard." Gosh, that's how I feel about math. I can relate. I'm like way better like reading and stuff, even though that probably doesn't show too well in my videos because I stumble over my words constantly trying to read just simple sentences. But hey, in my defense, it's really hard reading for hours at a time, like not getting very many breaks to breathe. So it makes sense that I would stumble over a few, right? You guys trust me, right? Right? I scan the pages again and easily solve the questions in my head. I give her another skeptical look. She returns my look with a pout and grabs my arm in desperation. "Then tell me why I'm failing." "Well..." I pry her hands from my card again and start the lesson on why she's failing. "Are you paying attention in class?" "All the time, why wouldn't I be? I don't know, you could be dozing off or doodling. Kids do that all the time." I like how she's treating her like she's like, you know, in elementary school. "I'm not a kid." If you're in high school, you're still a kid, for sure." She shoots me an annoyed face. "You get what I mean." I just can't wrap my head around the concept, something like that. I let out a big sigh and grab a pencil from my bag. Then you've got a lot coming your way. We spend the rest of the day going over what seems to be only one chapter. Lots of explaining and practice equations are given, but math really isn't her strongest point. It's not like she's not trying her best, it's just her brain isn't absorbing all the tactics I give her. Factor this out, put this here. No, you're supposed to... I let out my 100th sigh. "How about we take a break and get some food in your stomach? Maybe that'll help." Her arm stretches upwards as she falls on the floor with her back. "When are we ever going to use factoring in real life?" "Good question, but you need it to pass your tests now, don't you?" A groan comes out of her mouth and she starts whining playfully. "I'll go heat up some leftover fried rice I made yesterday. I have enough to share it with you too." She crawls out of the table and heads out of the doorway to make our dinner. I follow her example and lie down on the pink rug. Maybe my teaching methods just aren't good. I'll have to think of another way to explain and clarify some concepts later. My eyes close to get some rest after those hours of being a teacher. Now I understand what teachers have to go through. I'm about to drift into a nap, but Hibiki returns with a tray with 2 bowls. "Sorry, the dinner isn't anything extravagant. I made too much yesterday and thought it'd be a quick solution for tonight's dinner. Also, I didn't expect for you to start tutoring this early too. I had the impression that you'd offer to tutor me the night before my makeup test." She sets the bowls down again, and we start digging in. Dang, some fried rice? That sounds kind of fire right now. I could eat that. Just what kind of image do you have of me in that head of yours? A rough and tough delinquent? Well, she's kind of right, but I've started to pick my pace up as I'm nearing graduation. I'm hoping to at least get into some community college or somewhere else and try to get a job out of it. My family's financial troubles will be slowly plummeting into an even worse place if my parents don't stop gambling soon. I can at least move out when I get a stable job or something. Being a procrastinating delinquent isn't an option anymore. But you're a nice, rough and tough delinquent. Ah, yes, thank you. You put the nice in front of there. That makes everything better, right? Hibiki giggles, thinking that by saying that, it will entitle her to some brownie points. She didn't think wrong. Her giggle has this infectious effect that somehow leads me to forget about anything I was mad about. Alright, hurry and eat. I'm gonna stay for another 30 minutes and then go. It's getting late. I try to teach her differently in those 30 minutes, and it seems like she's starting to understand it better. I give her some simple practice equations, and she solves them with ease. Well, easier than before. Okay, we're gonna stop for here today. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll meet you by the school entrance. How about that? It'll be easier than walking around trying to find me. Sure. Thanks for dinner, by the way. No problem. See you tomorrow. She brings me to the door and says her last goodbye before I take the same route I did the first day I met her. Chilly winds graze against my skin and sends shivers down my body as I walk the path toward the train station. I really need to start bringing that jacket or something to keep warm. There are only 2 more days until our makeup test. Hopefully we'll be able to cram as much as we can in those 2 days, or else all the tutoring will be for naught. Maybe I can give her some kind of reward for passing the test. The thought of a worthful reward lingers in my head all the way back home until I pass out once again on my bed. The day before a makeup test. You remember what to do after doing this, right? You do this, then carry on with the rest of the equation using the formula. Yes, good, you got that down. I've been trying to study on my own too, you know. Good, because you're going to need all that information in your head for tomorrow's test. If you pass, I'll bring you to the arcade. How about that? She seems to be really excited about it. Hibiki's face lights up like a child on Christmas Day. The arcade? I haven't been there in ages. Then it's a deal. Heck yeah. For the rest of the night, the ambience around her consists of only rainbows and sunshine after hearing about the outing to the arcade. When do you think you'll be able to get your results back? Probably the day after? Okay then, we'll go on the day after you get your results back after school. Neat, I'm gonna spend all my money at the arcade. Don't do that. Know your limit, play within it. Cheapskate. Go do your practice problems. Yeah, it really seems like she's like scolding her as a child. It's like, hey, don't spend all your money in one place, you know? Save it, spend a little bit, you know? And I feel like she kind of has a reason to say that too, with her parents being huge gamblers. I'm sure they don't know that concept pretty well. For the looks of how uncomfortable she is now with solving the equation, she should be set for tomorrow. I stop going hard on her and let her relax so she doesn't get stressed for the big day. She stretches and lays her hand down on the table to take a break after tonight's long session. I'm just gonna lay down for a bit. I might fall asleep, but promise to wake me up in 15 minutes, okay? I look at the clock beside her bed and take note that it's already 9:55 p.m. We've been working on the tutoring thing without a break, and I'm sure it's taken a big toll on her, as well as I. I've never tutored anyone before in my life, so this was a new experience for me. I kind of liked it, even though it took a while to get the ideas into her brain. I follow suit and lie my head onto the table as well, facing her angelic sleeping face. Ooh, we got our first CG of the game. Let's go. I always get excited with Team Anthem CGs. Like, they're always really good. Soft snores indicate she's passed out, probably from tonight's last stretch of learning. Her hazel gray hair cascades around her soft, marshmallow-like cheeks that ever so tempts me to poke and pinch them. I give in to temptation and land a gentle poke on her cheek that's exposed to me. As expected, my finger sinks in the skin and the skin bounces back up when I remove my digit. This is more entertaining than I thought it would be. I'm reading her little notes down there. I think that's an @ for @Saint Udon. Udon can be your Yuri dealer, guaranteed quality Yuri. Wait, well, and there's the cat down there. Is there a way to... I'm trying to remember which button... There we go. Okay, there's the cat. Yuri is love, Yuri is life. Team Anthem. And then there's the kitty. That's supposed to represent, I think, Kotone. I play with her cheeks for another minute and stop to revel in her sleeping face. She's a lot cuter when she doesn't speak. There was never really a chance when I was able to sit down and fully see the details of her face. The only thing I took notice of her were big circular eyes and her slightly big ears. Her eyelashes are kind of on the shorter side, but that doesn't limit her feminine charms. Her thin lips are painted a faint red and rest neatly under her small nose. I began to imagine what it would be like if she wasn't If she wasn't as cheeky as she was. If she was a princess type, the one that's all polite and full of manners. That was my first impression of her until she finally showed me her true colors. She might be audacious and cheeky, but I think that's what makes her her. The cheerful and bright atmosphere she gives off lends energy to those around her. Maybe that's what made me stick with her and not find her annoying. It's like she recharges me. Not 1 minute has been boring in the moments I spend with her. I'll never figure out what kind of spell she pulls in order to do that. Before I end up falling asleep with her, I get and grab the blanket on her bed and place it on top of her. I'll leave the house without notifying her as to not disturb her slumber. I'd carry her to bed, but I'm afraid it might wake her up. Or it'll be better for her tomorrow, because that's not quite a nice sleeping position. Yeah, I feel like your back or something, or either your back or your neck would hurt. I shake my head and leave her be. She looks too tired to wake up now. Silently, I take my leave and go home. I guess I'll hear from her on Friday. Well, hopefully she'll get up in time. Friday after school. Her results are out today, supposedly, but I haven't heard anything from her yet. During lunch, she said herself that she hasn't gotten word yet. I clearly remember her munching away at her lunch without her usual chipper self. It's after school now, and I still haven't received the news yet, despite checking my phone for a message every other minute. I wait outside the doors of the school for her to appear with what I hope to be a good outcome. Other students hustle into their outdoor shoes and head for home, while others running around doing errands are heading to their club activities. I take another look at my phone for the time, exactly 3:30 p.m. and no signs of Hibiki yet. Maybe she got abducted by some aliens. Thinking about it a little bit more, since she's not here yet, she might be on the rooftop. I turn around and walk back inside, and as I step through the door, I bump into the girl I'm looking for. Ow! I stare down at her. She recoils against my chest. Ow, 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 sorry. She looks up to find a familiar face, and her smile returns. Oh, senpai! Were you waiting here? What else? Sorry, it took a while because my teacher gave me a long lecture about keeping up with my studies and whatnot, but look at this! A piece of paper is then shoved into my face with a red number of 92 on the top right corner. Whoa, a 92? Wait, you say that like you didn't expect such a high score. Hibiki displays a pouting face and puts her hand on her hips in an insulted manner. Well, kind of, based on your previous score, but dang, you worked hard, didn't you? Of course, I couldn't let you down by failing. You spent so much time helping me. It was really only, 3 days? Don't worry about it. I seriously thought you failed and went up to the rooftop to sulk. I would have if I failed, but I didn't, so now I'm here, wanting to go to the arcade. She grabs my arm and drags me out the doors and down the stairs, urging me to take her to her reward. Let's go, go, go! Okay, calm down, will ya? He's a very excitable person, that's for sure. Yuri Game, Anthem Station. Wow. Crazy, I bet that actually exists, right? I noticed there's a lot of references to Team Anthem in this. I like that. You don't really, or at least I haven't noticed them in some of the newer games, but I think it's cool. On any other day, the arcade's usually not packed, but my forgetful mind forgot today is Friday. Also noticed a day where the arcade becomes a sea of sticky and musty people. Even though I plead to Hibiki about the crowd, she's insistent on hitting the arcades today. Alright, just to get lost, okay? Okay. We start at the upper floors and decide to walk our way down. The upper floors consist of racing games and those fancy rhythm games, which she seems to adore. We managed to find 2 empty racing seats and plunk down for a race. Have you played these before? I dig up some spare change and put a coin in. I'm watching myself so I don't overspend today, not that I have much money anymore since I stopped getting allowance. Once I believe, I was a child back then. Just have fun, don't worry about finishing the course. You don't have to tell me that. With a menacing grin, she presses on the accelerator pedal and her in-game car speeds past mine. I don't give up without putting up a good fight. Both of us bump into the sides and walls, but we're all laughs and giggles. At the end, I cross the finish line ahead of her by just a smidgen and she demands a rematch. Come on! One more. No, save your money for other games, there's more to see. Huh. Come on, let's try something different. With the big variety in games here, we spend a good 45 minutes trying out several games. I mainly watch her, which I don't mind. Today is for her to enjoy anyways. She's surprisingly good at fighting games, and even caught me by surprise when she somehow won against the person next to us. Beginner's luck or hidden talent? We weave through the shooting games and even DDR next. Gosh, I can't do DDR. Like, I don't know about you guys, I just don't have the coordination for it. I have more like the hand-eye coordination, so I can use like a controller and I don't need to look at it all the time, right? But when it comes to my legs, like, I don't use my legs for gaming at all. It's like, why would I need those? So it just throws me off so much. I myself am having a blast, and right when I didn't think I'd dread anything at the arcade, she suggested Perikura moves. I then become stiff and reluctant. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what the Perikura moves are. Kotone senpai, please. No, I hate pictures. Senpai, for me. I didn't get that 92 for nothing. I groan a disgusted groan in annoyance. No way in hell. Hibiki then pulls out the biggest weapon she has. I did pay for that 50,000, didn't I? Wow, not even subtle about it, are you? He's like, pulling out the big guns, huh? She really went there, didn't she? She looks to the side, knowing full well she's gonna have things her way. Knowing I have no ammo to fight back with, I sigh and droop my shoulders and defeat and walk in the booth. Now this is just blackmail. What do you expect from a Yakuza's daughter? That is true. I actually do a double take on that joke and let a small smirk. Well, at least I'm glad she's comfortable enough with me now to joke about even that. In pretty much all the pictures, my face remains a poker face, but even the special effects and editing portion of the attraction made the pictures cute and fun to look at. I disagree with her editing skills, but I let her do all the work. I don't think I'm keeping these. Kotone-senpai, you should smile more often. Your face will be stuck like that forever if you look so grumpy all the time. Good, that's what I want. Okay, Mr. Grumpy McGrumpyson. We walk out of the booth and decide to head down to the bottom floor where all the crane machines are. I walk around each crane machine and one of the prizes catches my eye. I thought Hibiki would like a plushie or something instead of those anime characters. Does she watch anime, I wonder? A lot of anime is just borderline porn, isn't it? That's not true. Though, I think a lot of it is. I mean, you're not wrong, but not the majority, just a lot is. With my new curiosity in mind, I turn around to look at her to find that she's gone missing. Hibiki? I frantically look around the swarms of people to find her hazel gray hair and dark blue uniform. Nowhere in sight. I told her not to get lost. I traced my steps back to where I was walking, but no luck. Where did she wander off to? It was then that I remember I have her number now. I whip out my phone and start messaging her about her whereabouts. No immediate reply. Answer. I saw my angry remark when the couple next to me starts making a ruckus. Oh, that was so close. We're almost there. Try again. There's no point. These games are meant to be rigged. Well, we almost have it. Wait, hold up. We need to pause for a second, guys. There's actually a guy in a Team Ampim game. I think, like, my dream is to be a model, not a maid. Like, there's one guy in that game, right? Or maybe, like, two at most. So it's really rare to see one, so I always have to pause and appreciate that. Because, like, their games only have girls in them for some reason. But I feel really weird playing as a guy. It's alright, I can buy you something even more valuable than a toy. You said it, no taking it back. Of course, anything for my boo. Let's head out. Ugh. Sorry, I just had to. The plushie in question is hanging over the edge head first. Like the girl said, they were getting really close to getting it. What a shame to give up like that, especially when it's right there. It'll just be easier for the next player. AKA, me. I waste no time at taking my chance at playing the crane game. Down goes the 500 yen coin, and the lights begin flashing, indicating the game has started. I position the crane near the tail of the cat plushie in hopes that the crane will bring up the butt up just enough to bring the entire body into the hatch. With that, what with the weakness of the crane's grasp, it only lifts the butt a mere inch before dropping it back into place. My second turn starts and I have to quickly switch up my strategy. I then go for the middle instead of the tail. When it inches the plushie forward just a bit, my hopes shoot up for the roof. I don't know how it works, but if it's working, I'm going to keep at it. Finally, on my 5th and last try, the cat plushie slowly makes its way down the hole. Yes! I hurriedly grab the reward and shake it in excitement. I think this is the first time where I won something from a crane game. Thank you, previous couple. I'll probably give this to Hibiki. I don't really keep stuffed animals in my room, and I know Hibiki has tons in hers. The suspenseful game nearly makes me forget my initial mission, which was to locate Hibiki. In another quick, unfruitful look around my area to see if she's found her way to me, I briskly walk to another aisle to search for my lost cat. I check my phone again to see if she's replied. It seems she replied 2 minutes after I texted her. I was probably too busy being occupied with the crane game to realize my phone sent a notification. I tucked the gray cat I just won under my arm and speed walked towards the entrance of the arcade, which is where Hibiki said she's at. With my careful maneuvering and swerving, I managed to dodge the huge parade of people. I tiptoe to get a glimpse of where Hibiki might be standing and find her on the left of the doors with some unexpected guests. 2 men loom over her with sneering, thirsty looks. Looks like they want to pick up Hibiki for some fun, as they would say. Even from afar, I can tell that Hibiki is feeling jittery and extremely uncomfortable. Makes me want to punch the lecherous faces off those guys. Oh yeah, that does remind me, in Love Goes Towards Love, we do have some guys that are in the cafe, but they're also jerks too. Most of the guys are either like jerks or they're like business guys. I stomp closer and look at them and put on my most intimidating face. Come on, Kitty, I promise it'll be fun. You'll have the time of your life. Yeah, come with us. We'll show you a good time. I pop up next to Hibiki and give the guys a warning. Heck off. Kotone-senpai. Oh, is this a friend of yours? Oh, the more the merrier. We'll show you a whole new world. A whole new... Okay, I'll stop. I'm not even gonna try. I'm not a good singer, so it's not gonna happen. The smirk makes me want to gag and throw up. The other man reaches for Hibiki's arm in an attempt to drag her along, but I slap his hand away and wrap my arm around her shoulder, pulling her close to me. She's mine, so don't frickin' touch her. Lesbians? I've never seen a lesbian before. Dang. Yeah, she's my girlfriend. Got a problem with that? Picking on helpless girls like this. No wonder you two don't have scored. You haven't scored jack. Now piss off. Without waiting for the unnecessary replies, I drop my hand from her shoulder and put her and hold her hand to pull her away from the situation. Sorry, that was too funny. They were like so surprised. They're like, lesbians? Oh, we gotta get out of here. I take her to a less populated area, even though I'm not paying much attention to where we're actually headed to. We stop in front of a little empty playground in a park. I take one cautious look behind us to make sure that those dudes haven't been following us. Luckily, they aren't. When my slightly anxious state has calmed down, I realize I'm still holding onto Hibiki's hand, and I hastily let it go in embarrassment. Oh, sorry. And, sorry about earlier. That was honestly the only way I could think of to get them away from you. No, it's fine. Thanks for the help. No problem. I want to break this ice so badly. Guess I saved you in this time, huh? Oh, haha, you're right. We're even then. My fingers play with the tag on the toy out of awkwardness. I didn't think of the awkwardness that the action would have entailed. I still look at her face and notice that it's kind of really red. Could it be that she's not feeling well? She has been working really hard lately. Say your face was just as red. What do you mean? Holy, are you okay? Do you have a fever? I place my palm on her forehead to feel if her temperature is higher than usual. Her squeal scares me into retracting my hand. Oh no, I'm fine. It's nothing. I think it's just because we're kind of rushing. We were kind of rushing out of there before. So that's it. There's nothing to worry about then. She probably doesn't get much exercise on the daily, huh? That's good. Was worried you caught a fever from working your butt off recently. Hibiki smiles her usual reassuring smile at me. Haha, I'm not weak, senpai. I noticed then that on the opposite hand of the one I held, she's holding a medium-sized orange cat plushie with a slightly weird-looking face on it. Hey, did you win that? She also notices just now that she's been holding on to it the whole time. Oh yes, I saw this and thought of you, so I tried to get it. Yeah, that does look like her, just a little bit. She points her prize to me and that the cat's face is really weird-looking. Yeah, it's a very grumpy-looking cat. That reminds you of me? Yeah, always so grumpy looking. Right. Speaking of which, I got this for you, but you already won something for yourself. I show her the cat in my arms and hand it to her. I don't keep stuffed animals, so you can have this too if you want. Hibiki shakes her head. I think you should keep it. You want it with your own money and effort. You totally deserve it. But... No buts, just keep it, senpai. There's no hurt in having a stuffed animal by your bed, right? It'll keep you company when I'm not around. She gives me a big smile in her haughty manner, teasing me. Okay then, I'll keep it so I can pinch its cheeks when I can't pinch yours. Right? I reach out and pinch that smile off her face playfully. Ow, Kotone-senpai. I'll be glad to keep it if that's the case. Meanie. Hibiki motions closer towards the little playground set and climbs to the top of the slide. Now that I'm done with my makeup test, does that mean you won't be coming over again? She poses a good question. I only ever visited her house because I was her temporary tutor. Without that job, there's no reason for me to come over anymore. Well, even if you're not my tutor anymore, my house is always free for you to come drop by. Sure, if I feel like it, I don't mind bugging you. She positions her body comfortably on the small slide and goes down, albeit slowly due to the friction of her hips and the sides of the tiny slide. Her teal eyes glint in the setting sun when she looks in my direction. Promise? Not that I don't want to hang out with her. It's fun being around her, and I feel it much more calming when it's just the two of us alone, without anyone else around. I'm able to be myself and not need a filter. But with entrance exams coming up, I have to focus more on my own studies. Though I can just study at her house and hope I don't get too distracted. I promise. The sun has mostly gone down by now, and only some orange hues remain in the sky, but her smile after sealing the promise shines dazzlingly in the dark, unlit park. No doubt I physically feel my heart skip a beat. The swirling emotions in my chest malfunction my brain, freezing me momentarily. When I snap back into life, I turn around to hide my confused red face, even though the darkness probably didn't show much. I try to think of something else before the feelings go into overdrive and I lose control over myself. It's dinner time now, isn't it? I can cook you something at my house. Would you like that? I think I have some chicken in the fridge. Maybe we can stop by the supermarket for some more extra ingredients. Her voice extracts from me my thinking and I lose my ability to speak. Huh? Oh, no, I'm, gonna head home. Being with her any longer right now will muddle my feelings even more, so I reject her offer and create an excuse to leave. I think I gotta head home for tonight for something. I'm gonna go first. You know your way back, right? I didn't notice it by looking all directions as I'm speaking. It might have been obvious I was lying. I start bolting for it without even waiting for a response. The sky is now a dark purple and I think of all the possible dangers of leaving Hibiki alone to go home by herself. The thought halts me mid-run and I turn around. Hibiki is still sitting at the bottom of the slide looking stunned. I don't want any more guys trying to pick up on her after getting into a crisis. Actually, I'll walk you to the station. It's dark now, it'll be safer if there are two of us. Senpai. The walk back mainly consists of silence as both of us are tired. Today was a full day of school and then an after-school outing to the arcade. I don't mind the silence. In fact, it helps me sort my mind easier. We bid our farewells at the station, as our platforms are on the opposite sides. I get on my train before her, and head for home carrying a million thoughts. My mom greets me at the door when I arrive home, but I only reply with a small nod due to my busy mind running around. I fall into the embrace of my bed and remember that I have the gray cat plushie in my hand. My tired eyes opening to examine the stuffy I won today. The cat's face is a lot cuter than the one Hibiki won, and I laugh a bit remembering how she said it reminded her of me. Its cheeks stand out and I bring myself to pinch it like I did to Hibiki's. I'm not sure how long I've laid on the bed for, but it seems like an eternity as I quietly sort my concerns out. I pinch the gray cat's cheeks again when I finally come to the conclusion on what my feelings truly are. My feelings towards Hibiki have evolved into something more than what I bargained for. I've never imagined that would ever happen, nor did I know when it started happening, but now I know. That I might have fallen in love with her. I will say though, I feel like this game has a lot more like build up to where they actually like realize they love each other. Like they didn't just immediately say, "Oh yeah, we're lesbians, by the way." But like it's been like slowly like opening up as they've like become really good friends, and there's been kind of some pushback, you know, from Kotone towards Hibiki. But it's nice that like she's like opening up to her more so. I mean, she opened up to her initially, right? But like she's been like seeing new sides of her as well. It's been just like a very interesting narrative compared to the other games. I'll say that it's been a different pace, and now that it's like actually like getting towards this latter part of the game, I actually really like it. It's pretty different, and I mean I like all the games. There's not been a game I played from them that I haven't liked, but I like that each game I've been playing, it's very similar in a way, but it's also very different. My eyes open to a sea of light, and I check my phone for the time. The eye-blindingly bright screen reads 2:01 a.m. It's rare for me to wake up in the middle of the night, but it's most likely because I left the lights on. I get up from the bed groggily and turn off the lights to go back to a slumber. I plop down onto the mattress and my arm hits a soft bump. I remember I'm now in possession of a cute stuffed animal, and I blush madly when the memories of what I figured out hours ago came back. My body reacts strongly from the flood of embarrassing flashbacks and curls up into a ball. My face becomes hot and my mind begins twirling again. I try to calm myself down by thinking of something else, but her dazzling smile and infectious laughter is the only thing that occupies my mental images. This is the first time that this has happened to me, and I don't know how to deal with it. It's almost unbelievable I feel this way after spending time with her for only 3 weeks. 3 weeks? Am I just a really easy person? That doesn't make sense if this is the first time it's happened. Perhaps I'm mistaking these feelings. That's it. That has to be it. But no matter how much I deny it, the truth keeps coming back, screaming in my face, especially when the gray cat is staring right at me. Ah, what have you done to me? I hold the plushie up and start pinching its cheeks again. By doing that just makes me recall her amusing reactions when I do it to her. I hug the plushie close and consider what Hibiki would say if she knew. How would she react? She'd probably be grossed out, and then I'll just ruin the entire friendship. All I have to do is hide these feelings, bury them deep into the ground, and never let the light shine on them. Just go on with life, become busy with entrance exams, and forget about them, right? Things are fine as they are, and I'll keep it that way. Maybe things will mellow out, and it'll just turn out I was wrong this whole time, and things will go back to normal. The midnight darkness and my drained energy pulls me back into a doze, with my churning brain acting as a lullaby. Next week, Monday. Classes throughout the day were boring, but I put in all my concentration on them to get Hibiki out of my mind. I even texted her and said I won't be able to have lunch with her today. Maybe I'm making a bigger deal out of this than it should be. I shake my head to clear myself up. Gotta focus on studying. There was little to no exchange of conversation with Hibiki for the rest of the day. I made an excuse I had errands and studying. The sudden change of not seeing Hibiki daily feels weird, especially when I've been seeing her non-stop. I don't mean to go find her because that'd be against my mission to avoid her, but maybe I'll take a peek at the rooftop tomorrow. The day after. I go up to the roof and see if Hibiki's still waiting there for me today. Lo and behold, she's there alright. I can see clearly through the little window in the door that she's sitting and staring at the sky like usual. Seeing her waiting for me sparks a kind of joy in me that I never knew existed. She's waiting specifically just for me. A gulp runs down my throat. My plan to leave her be has been foiled, and my attraction for her brings me to open the door instead. The door opens with a loud click, and she immediately turns around with a big smile on her face. I quickly turn my gaze to the floor in an attempt to control the roller coaster going in my heart. I sit down in my regular spot next to her, and she hands me my bento box for the day. Did you eat my portion as well yesterday, since I wasn't able to make it? Yeah, but I used it as my dinner instead. What were you doing yesterday? I was just consulting with my teacher with some things. Nothing big. Oh. We eat our lunches in silence again, while the fresh winter air accompanies us. It's getting a lot chillier lately as we near the end of November. I didn't want either of us to catch a cold eating on the rooftop like this in the coming weeks. I think we have to stop eating lunches up here soon. It's getting way too cold. Yeah, I was thinking about that. We can eat inside somewhere, but it won't be as quiet as it is up here. She stares out into the distance like she's absorbing the scenery one last time. I don't think there'd be any quiet places in school. Guess we gotta put up our rendezvous to pause. Hibiki's face transforms into a sullen expression after hearing the news. It's about time I start focusing on my studies. It's a crucial time for me right now with my entrance exams and stuff. I probably might not visit your house that often, especially because it's really not on the way. I can see that Hibiki's disappointed with the lack of hanging out together. Of course, I'm just as blue. I understand. Her answer was unexpected, but somewhere deep down I wanted her to object. It's okay, I could bother you through text though, right? Sure. Instinctively, I ruffle her hair, glad to see she's still cheeky as ever. Will you be okay without lunch? Of course I'll be okay. I'll think of something. Who do you take me for? I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't miss her lunches, but it's fine. I won't be a hinder because she won't have to do the extra work. We eat through the rest of the lunch period and bid our temporary goodbyes. It won't be until maybe March when we will be able to have our rooftop lunches again. I hope by then I'll have gotten over her. Dang, are we really gonna have like a time skip that big? 3 weeks later. Okay, so we're like end of December right now, right? After that last time on the rooftop of Hibiki, I'm never able to see her that often. She's always on the first floor and I'm always on the third. It's highly unlikely that we ever bump into each other. I really only stay in my class now, and from what I know from her text messages, she does the same. My studies are going great, I'm feeling at the top of my game. Entrance exams are coming around in mid-January, so I only have to stay on my tippy toes for another 3 weeks. Once they're over, I can relax a bit. Winter break is also starting tomorrow, so I can take that time to study even more. The studying is on my mind a lot nowadays, I can't help but miss seeing Hibiki. I feel so dumb as I continue to hoard these feelings in my chest. I silently cursed at myself for even realizing what these feelings were in the first place. I mentally punched myself again for even bringing it up once more. Right when I thought I was forgetting about those feelings. Whatever, I'm going home and I'm gonna nap. Screw studying for today. I make my way to my shoe locker until I bump into Hibiki standing in front of hers. She doesn't seem to notice me passing by as she's busy reading a letter in her hands. A letter? Who could have possibly sent her a letter? Uh-oh, it's a love letter. I walk up to her without even noticing it myself and shadow over her. She sees my dark projection and spins around to see who it was. Senpai? Our faces meet only inches away, causing her to jump back in response. A clang rings out when her body hits the lockers behind her. Ow! Senpai, what are you doing here? What's that? Eh? Looks at the paper in her hands and gets flustered. I think it's a love letter. A love letter is the last thing I'd expect her to receive. Who would dare ask a Yakuza's daughter out? A love letter, I found it in my shoe locker just now. I resist the urge to grab it out of her hands and read it myself to double check, but instead I just ball my hand into a fist. Who is it from? A guy named Inuyama Arashi. He's in my class. I didn't really want to know who it's from, not like I care. Or do I? You know what? Let's go home. I'm gonna come visit your house. Change your shoes while I get mine. In a fury, I rush to my locker and hurriedly change. I return back to her locker, seeing her ready to go, still with the letter in hand. I grab a hold of her arm and tow her with me out the door. Someone's a little protective, aren't they? We reach the station. Hibiki finally speaks up about me acting weirdly. Kotone-senpai, you're oddly mad at a mere love letter that I received. Did I really sound that mad? I was just surprised you got one, and I don't want you to... My brain tries to dig up an answer for her. I just didn't want you to make any rash decisions just because you got a love letter. You gotta think these things through before accepting their offer or whatever. And you would know the better decision as to how I should respond to it? Yeah. We both know it was a lie and a half. Whatever you say then, senpai, I'm all ears. Wait, you're really letting me decide? No, I'm only gonna listen to suggestions. I'm making the choice in the end. Like I said, it's my love letter. But, right. The heat of the house warms my body the instant I walk in and sit down on the couch. Hibiki turns the lights on and goes to the kitchen to make each of us a cup of hot cocoa. She leaves the letter on the coffee table in front of me. While she's busy making our drinks, I take a quick peek at the letter. After a quick skim, it looks like the guy is really sounds serious about wanting to get with Hibiki. He mentioned that he's noticed Hibiki for the past few weeks and has truly seen how cute Hibiki is. He even says he's willing to look past the rumors and try approaching her for a chance. Included is also a date and time to meet up. I've got to admit, it's impressive how gutsy he is. I'm a big coward, aren't I, for running away from these feelings? When I could literally just tell her right here and now. I placed the piece of paper and envelope back to where it was and turned the TV on for some background noise. Nothing on the TV interests me, so I just continue flipping through channels until I land on a program talking about cats. Hibiki returns with 2 mugs of a cocoa and sits them down next to each other, to the letter. Be careful, it's hot. I can see. She picks up the letter and rereads it with a worried-looking face. What's with the face? Shouldn't you be happy you got a love letter? It's like the pinnacle of high school life, ain't it? Well, my question is left unanswered as her eyes go back to the words in the letter. Who is he, anyways? Not that I cared or anything, just nice to know that he isn't some creep. Inuyama Arashi. From what I've seen, he's a very popular guy that everyone likes. All the girls swoon over him because he's really good looking. A good looking and popular guy? Who wouldn't take the chance to accept that confession? He's the dream of every girl in the school. So should I go on New Year's Eve to meet him? The answer doesn't come immediately. My mouth wants to say no, but I know it's a selfish answer. The decision is for the happiness and experience of Hibiki. I don't want to ruin a chance for her to have a proper and possibly very fruitful high school romance. It's not worth risking her happiness because of some sliver of hope that she likes me back as a friend. I want her to be happy, because that's all I am right now. A friend. I take a deep breath and finally reply. I think you should go. What? What do you mean what? You've got nothing to lose. Worst case scenario, you don't like him and call it off, but he seems like a nice guy and popular too. You gain so many bragging rights. Let out a snicker for that shallow reason, but my answer is final whether she decides to take those bragging rights or not. But I'm serious, I think. I can't take my answer back. I think it's the better decision to try it out. Her mouth moves, but her voice is too faint to hear over the volume of the TV. What? So you're telling me to go be with him, is that right? Yeah, did I stutter? Thinking back, I think I did. I see. Looking at her face right now, I can't tell if she's worried, sad, or pissed. She looks away and pulls the letter back into the envelope. If that's what you want. Oh no, that isn't what you want. Tell her how you feel, you frick. Kotone, don't do this to me. You can do it. It's not gonna hurt her feelings. This is a Yuri game. Of course she feels the same way. She just doesn't want to tell you yet. Up she gets from the couch and goes upstairs, probably to her room to put the letter away. But wait, it's not what I particularly want. You're free to do whatever you think is right. I don't know if she heard me or not, but why is she so pissy right now? I slouch down on the couch and sip on my hot cocoa, nearly burning my tongue. The channel is now broadcasting something about rescue dogs, but I drone out whatever they're talking about and space out. If Hibiki decides to go out with whatever his name is, that means no more chances for me to even confess. I shake my head to snap out of it, but I decided to stop liking her. There's no reason why I should still be worrying about this trivial matter. In fact, this is a good step. Let her be taken and block my hopes. The feelings will go away faster that way. I downed the last drop of cocoa despite it being somewhat hot. No more thinking about these forbidden feelings. I slink down into the couch and sigh. It's over. The voice of the host tunes into my ears again, and right as I begin to pay attention to the show, I realize Hibiki still hasn't come back downstairs yet. Is she okay? I venture up the stairs to her room door, which is closed. No sound indicates that she's changing. I knock on the door. My mouth opens to start asking if she's doing alright, but she beats me to it. I'm not feeling so well. I think you should go home. Maybe that explains her weird mood from before. Not well? Are you okay? Do you need any help? Just leave. Sharp words behind the door sound unexpectedly cold. Silence follows her words and she doesn't say anything else. Oh, okay. I'll head home first then. Without further ado, I leave her house and slowly walk back to my own. Hibiki's sudden mood swing gets me wondering what happened with her. Was it something I said? What could I have possibly said that was wrong? I kick a nearby can in anger. Hibiki is usually very easy to read, but today she felt like a map drawn by a 3-year-old. Perhaps I shouldn't have even went up to her in the first place. Why did I even do that? The letter flashes my mind once again, and I grit my teeth as I realize just how strong the power of jealousy is. To let my frustration out, I run the rest of the way home. New Year's Eve. My eyes open and I see all is black. I panic for a second, only to realize I fell asleep with my arms on my eyes. The light in my room grows a dim light, and my eyes squint to adjust to the brightness. A chilly breeze enters in through my window, sending chills to my spine. I shiver and walk up to close the window that was left open this afternoon. The sky's color has changed from a cloudy gray to an inky black in the span of only 2 hours. People chattering can be heard as they leave their house for the nearest shrine in preparation for New Year's Eve. Right, today's New Year's Eve. I look myself tired as I remember what day it is also. The day Hibiki meets up with that guy. Whatever, not my problem anymore. Without caring anymore, I closed my blinds and turned off the lights. This time, I plan to sleep without any disruptions. Today's studying was slow, but I'll save studying again for tomorrow. I just want to sleep right now. I bury myself with my blanket and wallow in the warmth of the previous nap. 10 o'clock is still early according to my sleep schedule, but sleeping early once in a while won't hurt. I close my eyes and let the outside noises become a lullaby, drifting me into a mindless state. Oh, was that a text message? Suddenly, my phone rings from a received message, catching me by surprise. No one texts me other than Hibiki. Immediately, I get up and open her message. I'm not nyawing for you forever. You ever. Hey, can you come meet me? I'm at the playground. Dang, that's an iPhone. With no hesitation, I bolt out of my bed and grab the closest clothing, which is my school uniform hanging on a hook. There's no time to pick out an outfit. Not when there's a chance that the might have done something to Hibiki. There'd be no reason to call me out. She should be with him right now. Out the door I dash, telling my parents not to worry about me going out so late. The lack of a scarf causes the cold to strangle my neck, and I regret not bringing one of those with me in a rush. I try to remember my way to the playground we once were. My memory serves me right as I soon approach a well-lit area, hopefully indicating a park. The tall concrete walls that surround the park look familiar, and I run some more to find the entrance to the little playground. Walls soon turn into low fences, and I spot Hibiki sitting at the bottom of the slide with her knees up, staring at the starry night sky. My breaths cloud my vision as I try to catch my breath after running that marathon. Despite my heavy breathing, Hibiki doesn't seem to notice me. Once my heart rate calms down, I jog towards her while calling her out. Hibiki! Hibiki turns around right away once she hears my voice, but she remains seated. Senpai, what are you doing out here alone? Weren't you supposed to be with what's-his-face? I turned him down. Don't tell me Wait, what? I'm afraid I might have heard that incorrectly. I met up with him today to turn him down. But why? Why? Her eyes that twinkle in the moonlight look up at me like I should have known the answer. She stands up from her crouched position and stands face to face with me. Because I already have someone that I like. Another surprise after the other. What other news does she have for me tonight? Pellets of white snow begin dropping in the sky, landing on both our hair and shoulders. You have someone that you like? Who could she possibly like? Someone from her class and her grade? From somewhere else even? Wow, I have no idea who she would like. Wow, that's mind-blowing, right? Such a plot twist. Crazy. In the end, it's something I never knew about, nor has she told me about it. I thought we were close enough friends for her to tell me something like that. Then again, she doesn't have to tell me everything in her life. It's just that she would tell me about everything during our lunch meetups. Liking someone would definitely be something she'd come screaming to me about. I let out a nervous laugh. Dang, what's all the fuss for? And what was all the fuss before? If you already have someone you like, you knew you'd be rejecting him. Say, who's the lucky guy? I got some time to kill. Talk to me about it. Hibiki looks down at the floor and balls her fists in fury. Perhaps she doesn't want to talk about it. Her face looks up to me, and the twinkle in her eye has turned into a pit of fire. Senpai, you really are the biggest blockhead alive! Her huge voice echoes throughout the quiet neighborhood, startling me. My eyes widen in shock after her big sudden outburst. What are you getting mad at me for? Because someone I like is you. Hibiki's face turns shades redder than before, as does mine. I'm in a frozen state, both from her statement and from the frosty December air. I have no response for her, so she's left me speechless. I thought I was being obvious, but your dense brick head wouldn't get it. You like me too, don't you? I see the way you look at me. Is it really not the same as my own gaze? Yet you let me leave you and even advised me to go be with Arashi-kun. She saw through me this entire time? When you started to avoid me for some reason, I thought I was coming onto you too strong or something, but it just happens to be that you never understood. But if that's the case and I was all wrong, then forget about it, forget it. It's okay if you hate me after this, you're gonna graduate soon, so you can easily forget about me in no time. But let me just tell you that I like you as more than just a friend. Much, much more. Millions of thoughts swim in my head, but I snap back to reality when she mentions me hating her. I look down at her tear-ridden face, and I think she has no idea what my state of mind has been going through lately. As if someone possessed me in that moment, in a way to comfort her and assure I won't hate her, that I don't see her any differently than she sees me, I cup her face and bring my lips to hers. Her toasty, flushed cheeks warm my palms, with her lips warm mine. The sensation of her kiss throws my heart into backflips. Gosh, yeah, I'm fine. I'm glad this is finally happening. Frickin'. It never goes right when they, like, hide their feelings and just don't say it. You know, it's so much easier just to get it out there, not have to pretend you don't feel this way. Never felt what a kiss to the lips feels like, but this feels just right. I forget about the cold and the snow for this paused time and pull her in closer. She shows no resistance and falls into the kiss deeper. But before I start fainting from the fleeting moment, I break the connection and tell her how I truly feel. I do like you. I love you. More than friends, for a while now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for avoiding you. I never thought you felt that way about me, and I never would have thought. I can see my eyes blurring up from the tears forming. It feels too good to be true. It's like I'm dreaming and will wake up any second now, and I'll be in my room staring at my ceiling. My eyes meet her now soft and teal orbs. Her calming gaze allows me to dig up the buried feelings and open my heart up. When I finally came to terms I actually liked you, I stayed away from you as much as possible to get rid of these dumb feelings. There'd be no way you'd like me back. What were the chances? So I threw them away. Or well, I tried to. It didn't go too well. Especially when I got that letter. I kinda just got jealous, I guess. In my mind, you would have been much better off with him, hence why I told you to go. It would have been too selfish of me to stop you from having a possibly happy relationship. It was just another excuse to help my coward self get over you. But it wouldn't have even been happy for me, because I didn't even like him like that. I didn't know that. Yeah, because you're as dense as a black hole. That's pretty dense. I gulp at her stab at me. Did she really show signs of liking me? She pulls out a handkerchief from her coat and wipes my eyes. Everything's fine now. Stop crying. Crying doesn't really suit you. I sniffle and rub my sleeves on her set of eyes. Look who's talking. Hibiki chuckles and glomps me in pure happiness. I love you, senpai. She presses her lips against mine, but this time it's more of a playful kiss than an angsty one. My body nearly tips over and I steady her toppling weight by wrapping my arms around her waist. I never felt this blissful before in my life, and I want it to last forever. The road ahead might be a bumpy one, for this is most likely the first relationship for either of us, but I'm willing. I'm willing to spend those waking moments solving the bumps of Hibiki. There might be many storms ahead, but I'm not afraid. I won't be afraid. Unfortunately, this brief exchange of a kiss breaks when my legs give out and I land on one knee. Senpai! I clutch onto Hibiki's arms as I try to get up, but the freezing in my legs waver and soon disappear from... The strength in my legs waver and soon disappear from the freezing temperature. Snow has piled a very thin layer atop the ground. Senpai, I know our feelings are mutual, but it doesn't mean you can propose to me right this instant. Yeah, I knew there was one of these jokes coming up. I knew. But if that's what you want, don't play into it. I laugh at her wild imagination, but I unfortunately have to burst her wedding thoughts quickly. Sorry, that won't be happening just yet. My teeth begin to chatter from my shivering. I'm just really cold. I really regret not bringing at least another sweater. Hibiki's eyes widen in both embarrassment and shock. She starts to panic and strips her scarf and coat. In a flurry, she covers me with her coat and wraps her pre-warmed scarf around my neck. Her hands cup mine as she breathes onto them for temporary relief. Then she offers her arm for me to use as support for standing up. You dummy, why didn't you bring a jacket? I was in a hurry to come see you. Stop talking, let's get you home. I don't want to go home yet. I want to spend more time with you to make up for all those times I was away from you, now that I can. Oh, don't get sappy on me. You're gonna get hypothermia. For you, anything. I manage a small smirk when her face turns beet red again. I'm gonna just leave you here. Take me to your house. I like it there more. Hibiki gives me a disapproving look for being a stubborn child refusing to go home. Fine. At this rate, you just need to get out of the cold. She bundles the coat tighter on me and puts my arm around her shoulder for better support. Together, slowly but surely, we walked to the station en route to our house. Gosh, it's about time they, confessed to each other. I lay underneath the soft blanket on her bed with a cup of hot water on the bedside table. Hibiki sits on the floor with her arms and head propped up next to mine. Now that I'm out of the intense cold, my brain has returned to its normal, sane state. That might sound like a good thing, but now I'm thinking back to all those embarrassing things I said to Hibiki. I also now realize how awkward it is. Now that we both know we like each other, how am I supposed to even act? My head begins to burn again with the fact that I'm in her bed, her scent encompassing me from all directions. Her teal eyes stare at me with glimmer and fascination, probably because she's also replaying my confession in her head. Stop staring at me like that. Why? It's embarrassing. But you're really cute when you get flustered. What? I jump up from my bedridden position after hearing such absurd things. See, just like that. My eyes squint at her with an unamused glare and I go back to lying down, this time covering my head with the blanket and facing the opposite direction. Wait, senpai! The bed sinks a bit when Hibiki climbs onto the bed to turn me around, in an attempt to get me back in my good books. She shakes me in a light-hearted manner and begs me to stop ignoring her, but I'm not giving in that easily. I'll cook you tasty meals the rest of your life, how about that? Kotone senpai! I turn around when her guard is down and engulf her into my blanket with me, burying her face in my chest so she doesn't see my absolutely flushed face. Just shut up and stay like this. Hibiki goes silent and obeys, relaxing her body next to mine. I can still feel the tenseness in her body, though, probably due to the bashfulness of being this close to me in bed. I don't blame her. I'm also feeling quite nervous having pulled that move. My eyes shut to try to fall asleep in this new position, a position I've never been in. Just how many firsts had Hibiki stolen from me? I try counting them in my head like I'm counting sheep, realizing Hibiki has made me do so many new things. Things will be different from now on, and the biggest question is, how different will it be? When will we act differently to each other from before? Will everything just be the same? There will no doubt be many new exhilarating experiences and new emerging things. I'd be lying if I said I'm not nervous and anticipating them, but at times like these, you just have to let things flow and try not to take control. I just hope I didn't screw it up and hurt Hibiki in any way. The thoughts soon turn into nothingness as I slowly lose consciousness and fall prey to sleep. This new year marks the beginning of our relationship and my new step forward in life. With this new step, I await the future with a lighter heart and outlook in life. All thanks to the day of my fateful encounter with that angel that saved me. A good 2 months have passed now since that fateful day on New Year's Eve, and the weather's becoming more warm. The exam marks show that I passed it somehow, so I'm heading to a nearby college to study teaching. Definitely not something I thought I'd be doing, but it's somewhat of a step forward. Things with Hibiki have been going well, too. Luckily, our relationship has just been our usual selves, except for some trials and errors on being a couple. I still have to work on holding hands in public without having a waterfall of sweat on my palms. Hibiki tries convincing me, saying it's normal for friends to hold hands, which helps a bit, but it doesn't erase the fact that Hibiki is more than a friend to me now. She's the one that usually initiates all the lovey-dovey stuff, and I tend to push it away. God, it's freaking embarrassing, even though I give in later on. We settle on the decision to take things slow, which is what I believe to be important because of our lack of experience. Other than that, it's like our relationship is enhanced and better than ever. Life feels more fleeting too because I can finally accept my true feelings. I meet Hibiki by the school entrance and we both walk to her house to hang out like usual, except this time she requests more tutoring once again. That girl has got to get herself studying and learning in check sometime. I won't be able to tutor you that often when I get into college. You know that. You're going to be on your own soon. Hibiki paints a smug smile and I can feel her planning something fishy. It's just an excuse for you to come over, that's all. I roll my eyes at her childish game. Then I'm leaving. Wait, I'm joking. I actually do need help on math. Please. You better be for real. We are about a couple blocks away from her house when I remember I have something important to hand to Hibiki. Oh, I have something I need to give you. What is it? I look around and decide it's better to give it to her in private. On second thought, I'll give it to you when we reach your house. Hibiki shoots me a skeptical look but starts picking up her pace to get home faster. I laugh at her impatience and catch up to her speed as well. Right after she locks the door, she darts towards the couch and pats it, urging me to sit down and reveal her gift. I comply and sit on the black couch and pull out her long-awaited prize. Not a wedding ring, right? In your dreams. I retaliate coyly. My hands now occupy a white envelope and hand it to her. She slowly accepts it with a doubtful face and feels the envelope up to try and guess what lies inside. What is it? Just open it. She gives me one last dubious look before peeking in the envelope and pulling out its contents. Once she sees what it is, her jaw drops nearly to the floor. Is this? In her hands are now bills that equate to our long-owed 50,000 yen. I said I'd give it back, didn't I? No, senpai, I can't take this. So you're willing to throw 50,000 on the floor at some strangers, but not willing to accept your own deserved 50,000. But how'd you even get this money? Well, I finally got accepted for a job. It's at a patisserie near Y Station. It's not like I'm making cakes or anything, I'm just a salesperson. I begged them for an advance payment, and after some convincing, I managed to get my hands on that money. And you didn't tell me about this job? I wanted to make it a surprise, at least you know now, right? That's amazing, senpai, I'm so proud of you. Hibiki tosses the envelope aside and gives me a big congratulatory hug. You really like throwing money around, don't you? She releases me and hands the money back to my direction. But I absolutely can't take this from you. This is your hard-earned money. Well, soon to be hard-earned money since it's an advance payment. Stop it, just take it, will you? This is to repay you for helping me with that debt. But I pinch her cheeks to get her to shut up. No buts, it's yours. I'll treat you to something special then. No, Hibiki, do you not know what the meaning of repayment is? You don't have to do anything extra for me. We're even now. Okay. I still don't need it. Take it! I say we're even now, but I still have many things I have to repay Hibiki for. For all this time she'd been there to help me. All this time she gave me life. Without her, I would have still been beaten to a pulp and still stuck in a never-ending rut. I wouldn't have had the courage or motivation to take a step forward. Hibiki might not know, but everything she has done for me is a puzzle piece to my newly given second chance. And this time, it's my turn to be there to support her and become her pillar of strength, like she is mine. I might accidentally break some hastily made promises throughout our relationship, but if there's one promise I vow to keep, it's that I promise to make her the happiest girl alive. That was sweet. I like that. Oh, there's even an after story. What? Let's go. Like, okay, obviously it's not like a full-grown after story, but at least we get to see what they look like in the future. That's nice. Bonus doodles. Pervert. Okay, so I think we can, I'm just gonna press H here. Meeting the parents. Look, it's the Yakuza dad. Let's see. The younger ones are more curious. Oh no, Hibiki. No. Don't look at that. No, I'm just kidding. You can look at that. Yeah, I mean, you guys are in a relationship. That's fine. Whatever. In need of some discipline. Whoa. Some spicy stuff going on down here. Surprisingly popular. That's interesting. She looks more like a teacher now. It's kind of weird. Daily recharge. Just hugging her to get more recharging. I become so professional looking. That's Hibiki's pencil right there. I had to take extra earrings off. Hair clip back during work. Please study some more. Reading glasses. Ray-Bans gifted by Hibiki. The mean-looking but actually chill math teacher. Everyone, let's check out Hibiki. I don't only cook, I eat out too. Oh. Wow, this game's a lot more lewd than some of their other ones, I'll say that. Studying culinary at some prestigious culinary school. Bigger flirt. Unclipped her hair. Sudden growth spurt. Interesting. Very interesting little doodles here, we'll say that. Yeah, very, very interesting. But anyways, guys, that was One's Lonesome 2's Company. Pretty cute game. I like how they tied in the cats. They are kind of like cats in some ways, I guess. And I think the orange one especially does match her personality. Very grumpy, very resistant to wanting to change sometimes. But anyways, guys, that was a pretty great game. I liked that. It had its moments of humor. I liked it, and I liked that it was more of like a slow burn. I feel like their next game after this was also kind of more of a slow burn at times. But this one was more like oh, I don't know that I'm a lesbian, and then eventually they fall in love and realize that they're both, you know, both into each other. So I like that. It's a little bit different than having just them being lesbians and like wanting to, you know, say something to each other later. I like the change in that. But anyways, guys, that was another Team Pin game. I am going to slowly play through the rest of them eventually. Just I'm trying to space them out because I would probably just binge them all in like a few days because I like them that much. But I will be playing the older games, and then hopefully they'll be coming out with a new one this year, which I'm excited about because they've gotten like so much better. Like this is good. I really like this game, right? But like I feel like their newer work is just like, oh, it's so good. Like they've gotten better with each one, and I love to see like how it's gonna progress. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you next time.